Hey guys, I've had a lot of questions about how to get the royal icing so smooth. I don't know if you can see that well. Get it the smooth finish. So I thought I'd just do a quick showing of how it actually works on a cookie. It pretty much does everything for me. It just depends on what consistency icing that you want. I'm just flooding the star with flood icing, so it will pretty much smooth itself out. There are different consistencies. If you want to write on a cookie with royal icing, you'll want a different consistency that's a little thicker, so it holds the shape. Also, if you want to do some flowers like that, you'll want a thicker consistency. Same with the shells and the leaves, so it keeps the definition, versus the flood will just dry and lay flat, if that makes sense. So we will do a really quick to show you what flooding a royal icing cookie looks like. So I have PME number 2 tip. Number 2 is just the size of the hole for the tip. I do like PME brand versus Wilton or Attico. I do think PME will give you a nice clear line. I found the Wilton tips tend to curl a little bit because there's a seam, so it's just my personal preference, but we will go ahead and I'll show you. I'm doing 2 colors. I'll show you the wet on wet technique as we get closer, but we're just going to outline the star. And you just kind of want to go nice and slow and gentle. You don't need to rush it by any means. And you kind of just let it fall on the cookie. And then once it's outlined, you just go ahead and flood in the design. So you're just going to finish putting all the icing in, and I just go around and around and around until it is all covered. And if you can tell, I didn't always get the right spots, but it will start to kind of mold in on itself. Okay, I'm going to take a toothpick or scribe tool or whatever, and just finish doing it a little bit. You can pull out the edges a little bit if you want. Sharpen up your edges with whatever, but see, as you can tell, it dried even. And then I have a smaller one, and I'm just going to make a couple of dots. This is wet on wet technique, so as soon as you're done, you want to go in with your next color, and this will dry flat. So this is wet on wet. So you can give a little tap, but that's what it is. So it will dry flat. So that is what royal icing cookies essentially are. And you can see the little dots. Sorry, the lighting is so bad. I'm doing it at 10 o'clock at night. But that's how you get that nice clean, if you can see from the side angle, that nice clean smooth finish on the royal icing cookies. So that is basically how to do a cookie as a flood. They're pretty simple. When you get more into these will take a lot more time because you got multiple colors that you have to tint, you have multiple thicknesses that you'll have to work with, and multiple steps because you'll want one part to dry before you can move on to the next part. But for now, simple star, there you have it. Thanks guys, have a good night.